Hello and welcome to a Before You Buy comparison special. We're going to take a look at some AMT 57 Chevrolet Bel Airs, kind of a standard Chevrolet Bel Air over here and a Street Machine over here. The one on our left will stand in for many box arts and boxings, whereas the one on the right, there is only one cover art, but there is two boxings. These being very large than standard boxes. Here is the kind of standard size boxing. You can see it dimensionally kind of looks dwarfed next to the large boxes. This is a 98 release, this is a 2001 release, and it does state Street Machine on the cover art. But again, otherwise they are the same part numbers and essentially the same boxing, and this one will stand in for many of the others. These two particular examples are kind of sister kits. They're both 98, they're both in the large boxes. But the short and sweet of the comparison is, on our left we have the factory stock or stock build, and on the right we have the Street Machine, which is really a Pro Touring or Resto Mod style build. Looks pretty stock on the outside, but under the skin has some changes. So let's get into some of the comparisons and differences of these boxes. And we'll start it off with what is the same, and the most prominent thing, of course, is our body, both having the same tooling for the body. This tooling originating in 1997, coming out as a stock kit. Then again in 98, both getting a boxing with the stock, and our first appearance of the Street Machine. Again, it's a Bel Air script. We got the opening trunk, part of that new tooling, and this is a high detail, high part count kit. Very nice kit from AMT. So our exterior or body is the same. Along with that, of course, our hood and trunk are the same. These trees are the same. So some of our suspension there, heater boxes, horns, hood hinges, again, all being kind of a crossover. The A-arms there. And then the other similarity is the interior, as we called it, like a Resto Mod. Looks very restored on the outside, but we'll see some modifications coming in, both having stock pattern interiors, both rear and front seats, again, all being the same. Along with those, both getting the wiring and foil, as well as all of our clears are the same between both sets. Set of reds, and then we get windshield backlight, side windows, headlights, and a couple of marker lights, that all being transferred over. Again, all the exterior similarities, and then we'll start moving into the differences. One of the first obvious notes of change is coming from our instructions, showing off that Bel Air Street Machine and kind of our stock 57. If you'd like to see these instructions, they are in their individual box openings and do have stills of all of them. But again, just a note, our instructions are changing. One thing, our Street Machine does come with a decal package. I'm unaware of the stock kits coming with decals, but they very well possibly could. But neither of my kits do have decals. Just something to note there. Moving into some of our parts, we'll take a look at chrome first. There's our stock kit. Here's our Street Machine. That lower portion being mirror identical. What that is our bumpers, kind of hood and grill chrome, door handles, things like that, that would stay same on the bodies. Interchange comes in the way of wheels. Got factory wheels and knockoffs, and then we get into some aftermarket wheels. Kind of a Corvette style wheel, chrome valve covers, and chrome air cleaner for our Street Machine. Again, everything else being the same. Going along with our wheel change, our wheel backs are going to change. You can see a diameter difference there with our aftermarket wheels, our inner fenders staying the same. And to go along with our wheel changes, might as well talk about the tires. The factory kit coming with 5 stock tires, and our aftermarket getting a nice set of modern directional tires, much beefier for a Street Machine or Pro Touring style car. They are labeled Goodyears. Both sets do have their markings on them, but you get 5 in the stock kit, you get 4, kind of a big and little setup there in our Street Machine, something to note. And of course, with our stock wheels, you do get a set of white wall inserts. Next up for comparison is this large tree. A good portion of it there on the top being the same, and that has our dash, firewall, radiator sport, radiator, grill section, fan and steering column. I guess the fan does get a change between a 4-blade and a 5-blade. But otherwise, those other sheet metal parts are the same. Our stock kit comes with a manual transmission, small block Chevy. It is a nice little dual carb factory small block setup. Nice air cleaner there. And our Street Machine getting a automatic driven big block Chevy. Kind of an aftermarket hot rod setup. Nice big aluminum intake there. Some manifolds. Big aftermarket carburetor. And its components to go with it. So you're going from a small block manual to a big block automatic in your Street Machine. And to go along with kind of those parts, we do get a little change in our heater hoses, radiator hoses, things like that would have to change between the two. And then we slide in our fender skirts for the stock vehicle. Now we're going to start seeing some more major changes, and that is in the floor pan. They look very similar in the lower section, but the back half there getting some obvious changes with some mini tubs and some custom sheet metal work in the Street Machine. Both very nice looking floor pans, but obvious change between stock and Street Machine. Since the trunks do open, show those. You get a nice floor mat in the stock one. Again, seeing the tubs and sheet metal work there. Our interior, of course, is still remaining the same stock style interior. And of course, since we are mini tubbed, we might as well be back half. You can see the front portion of the frame being the similar, other than this trans mount going across, but the back half getting it back halved. There you can see kind of some geometry changes, as well. It kind of stays narrowed throughout the back. Very cool. And moving along, to go with the back half, we're going to have to change the rear differentials. There you can see our stock setup, leaf springs, and over here we got a nice narrowed rear end. Kind of see the length difference there. Some other control links, leaf springs, got our stock gas tank, got coilovers over here. And compare our mufflers and exhaust. Major change there in our exhaust size. Kind of a 3-inch size exhaust versus a factory size exhaust. And then of course our 4-link setup there with our adjustable positions laid out for us. And kind of last but not least, some more of that exhaust. Again, maintaining those large tailpipes out the back with some nice aftermarket tips. And some of the other parts are spindles. We're getting a front spindle change. I'm assuming we're going to get a ride height change with that. And then we get a nice brake booster, dual pot master cylinder. Our drive shaft changes in length between that manual and automatic and big block, small block. Difference in kind of a basic wheel back versus our Street Machines getting a simulated disc and caliper setup, all 4 corners. Nice aftermarket steering wheel, and then down at the bottom, this is a spare wheel for the trunk. There's a factory steering wheel versus our aftermarket steering wheel. We got a nice fuel cell for the Street Machine and the other part of our rear differential, and that will finish her off for the comparison between our factory stock and Street Machine cars. Thanks for watching.